As the Red Terran playing for Team Alpha X, it is Vindicta.
Now I'm afraid to say something wrong, Ben, because I know you're going to make fun of me, you know? Peculiar, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't say anything anymore when you're around, Benjamin.
You know, I just heard you say a word really funny, Kevin, and I didn't say anything about it.
Introduced?
I think it was introduced. You definitely messed it up.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
are you nervous, Kevin? Are you nervous?
I mean, when I cast PvTs with you, Ben, I am a little bit intimidated because I just know you're the true expert of the first 5 minutes of the game.
And I know you're the true expert of, the 5th to 6th minute when that Zealot all-in's coming.
Fair play, fair play.
It is nice to see that Vindicta isn't doing something super wild for the opening. Like, this is obviously a super-duper standard textbook opening, like the Barracks Gas one. He's even scouting with the SV as well, just respecting MCanning. I don't really know MCanning as too much of a prox here, by the way. Do you?
No, not at all. I feel like if I think of MCanning, I feel of somebody that just wants to get up to 3 bases at least, get a couple of observers out on the map, and then eventually get into that disruptor composition. It's a bit of a cliche to mention it over and over again, but that really is what he shines at. And obviously it's a good thing to shine at because a lot of Terran players hate the disruptor and they would prefer games to end before that. So if MCanning can just always weather the storm and survive, then more often than not, he's going to be on the right end of these PvTs. And if I think back of his magical run last season, there were obviously a lot of great victories, and I know a lot of people often talk about the great games that he had against Scarlet, but I was super impressed with MCanning when he went up against Future. It wasn't just the fact that he won, but he legit looked so calm and composed in the entire best of 3. He had a great read on the matchup. He knew what was scary. He knew what was dangerous. And I was so impressed with how strong he was defensively. I was like, damn, I know you're good with like maxed out armies, but that you're this strong in the early mid game as well, that truly blew me away.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, like I know a few years ago I saw MCanning as quite a meme player and more a streamer, but after playing him recently, he's actually very good and very solid. And the way that you put it just then, he's very good at reading into what you're doing and having the appropriate reaction to everything and not taking anything for granted. So I have liked his play. Speaking of, I just jinxed the shit out of it, didn't I?
Yeah, that's what was perhaps not the greatest adept move. Obviously, Vindicta skipped the Reaper, which means that he had access to a lot of Marines early on, great Marine positioning. But then, I mean, maybe not necessarily a proxy target or a proxy robo, but we do have a proxy Dark Shrine happening on the top right side of the map. I like this. It is going to be a wild game. It is very important that when Vindicta makes his way to the other side of the map, I think Vindicta will deal damage here, man. Perhaps even a tremendous amount of damage. But he needs to realize that something is missing, right? Because MCanning barely has any units. He's got 4 army supply at this point.
Yeah, this is actually really bad. This is kind of like an old school Euthermal build. I remember him doing that quite a bit, actually. But the 2 Hellions, they're getting in. They're already dealing a lot of damage here, accompanied by these 4 Marines as well. This is way more damage than you expect to do with this kind of build, I feel, in MCanning. Wow. I think he's already really feeling the pressure here. These 3 Marines, they're going to be able to get this final Stalker as well. If he does continue to micro, nice probe, though, so he doesn't actually finish it off, but oh, this game's going to get spicy real fast.
Yeah, but this is where the spider senses of Vindicta should be tingling, right? Like, yeah, Vindicta, you're good, but you're not that good as you casually walk in a natural and kill 7 probes and a Stalker and almost a second Stalker. Something is missing, but Ben, it's apparently not clicking yet. I don't see an eBay, and he just dropped mules. Oh my goodness. I mean, sure, the mines are going to kill a lot, but the Dark Templars are going to kill even more.
Oh, you did see the blur, though, before it got anything or into the main base, which is a relief for him. But, so much damage being done. The nice saving grace for him is the Robo Bay, or rather the Robo, is only halfway done, Kevin. And these are Invis Widow Mines.
Yep, there is an armory out on the map. Don't lose the matter of fact. He should definitely drop a Widow Mine on the low ground as well. Because like you said, there is no detection. 1 mine is going to be in range of probes, and the second mine is actually going to burn next to so many probes. MCanning, oh my goodness, Ben!
Oh my goodness, and look at MCanning's reaction. Yeah, MCanning's reaction here. He is dealing significant damage on the other side of the map. I mean, these 2 DTs, oh my goodness, they're actually going to get away from the scan as well.
Yeah, so Raven is out. Raven is out.
Yes, exactly. And he does have a 30C almost done here. One DT does run to his death. Does the other one just kind of sneak out of here, though? It does. I mean, that's some sort of saving grace, but okay, the Widowmines are getting more shots off in the base of MCanning. This is not good.
Nope, MCanning lost a lot of mining time. During all of that, Vindicta even had the speed to move the Widow Mine in the main base because he was about to kill just a single probe. And he's like, nope, there are more probes left near the gases. So he unburrowed the mine, moved it a bit closer to where there are a few more workers, and he got a slightly better shot off. Now that the dust has settled, Vindicta is up 5 workers. MCanning his third Nexus is obviously very, very late. And this is the kind of game where I truly hope that Vindicta doesn't make things more complicated than they have to be. It's a triple orbital. Sure, Stim is a bit late, but I'd say you get a turret. Get a turret in your main, a safety turret. You know, you might not need it, but just get a turret in your main, get a turret in the natural, and then just make a proper push with Stim Bio. Because after dealing this much damage to the Protoss, there is no way that they have an army that can fight with, let's say, 28 to 35 army supply of Stim Bio.
I'm absolutely with you on this. Like, as soon as he gets, like, let's say, Stim finished along with Combat Shield, and I mean, his +1's actually going to be really late. Like, he didn't get the engineering bay with this, but I think you can move out once those big upgrades are done and deal significant damage. And I can't see how MCanning is going to be able to stop it, honestly.
No, I mean, oh my goodness, there's a Protoss being down 6 workers. What a way to start this best of 3, by the way. Isn't that feisty? What a way to start the entire part of our NA broadcast. This generally did feel like a proper welcome to NA party, where it's like, all right, Dark Templars are killing. I don't know how many SCVs went down, 11, but Widowmines and Hellions killed 23 probes. Craziness just starting off immediately.
It was such a funky opening by Vindicta, honestly. Like, he faked that he was going Reaper first, into cancelling it and then getting the reactor. It really threw the whole game out of whack for MCanning.
Yep. You know, you mentioned that this was a Euthermal opening, something that Euthermal did a while ago. I played Euthermal on the ladder today, and he actually did just that. He opened up with 2 very quick Aliens and walked a couple of Marines to the other side of the map.
Did it kill you?
No, it didn't kill me. I mean, I did die a bit later to, I don't know, just some macro play, because Euthermal's a god, but I dealt with the Hellions quite well, if I have to be honest.
Well, Kevin, you know, when you don't scout it, you don't get tricked by the fact that a Reaper's potentially building, then it's a reactor, you know? You're ready for anything.
I mean, I keep my stalkers at home, and I did mention that I didn't see a Reaper, and I'm a bit scared right now.
Okay, how do you feel about this follow-up for MCanning, though? I mean, like, anything he does is going to feel bad, but going for the, like, Robo Bay, the Double Forge, the Blink... Already got charge.
Yeah, okay, that's actually kind of funny. I think he was very worried about a super quick standard Marine tank follow-up. But yeah, to see charge before Blink. I think I would have preferred a double Robo opening over a double Forge. Because double Forge gives me the idea that he's thinking 3-4 minutes down the line. And I wouldn't think that far down the line. I'd be like, how on earth am I going to defend the first push? And I think double Robo would be a little bit more useful there than double Forge.
I guess the one saving grace for MCanning, though, is the fact that Vindicta's slowed down the game a lot. And this is kind of what I remember of him against MCanning back on Ice and Chrome. Like, he slowed down the game and wanted to play the late game against the Protoss, but I feel that's kind of entering the Protoss's and MCanning's comfort zone.
Yep, he's moving out right now though, and I'm okay with it. I think he just played it very safe at home. He got a little SimCity going. He got the turrets up everywhere. There is a Ghost Academy on the way. Vindicta is pretty good with Liberators. That's what I remember from playing him quite a bit. A War Prism is going to sneak into the main base. This is why I said, by the way, just get a turret in the main. He may not need it immediately, but it's so nice to have it. I don't think that War Prism is going to live. So this actually works out very well for Vindicta if he just takes care of these 3 units. The armies are starting to clash already on the bottom side of the map as the anti-armor missile turns the majority of the Protoss units orange, and I think MCanning's army just sucks, man.
Yeah, it's going to be like 1-1 isn't done yet. He is slowing down this army quite a bit, and the the battery overcharge is keeping alive the Archon for as long as it possibly can, but having tanks against this when your army's majority, with the majority being range, is not good. Yeah, you can make fun of me now, Kev.
I'm not like you, Benjamin. I gotta say, there aren't that many buy units here, though, and with a couple of Zealots coming in from the top side, it looked promising, but you can never run away from an army because you're still going to eat these tank shots. I generally wish MCanning would have just walked forward and get on top of those tanks. It may not have been pretty, but then at least I think he cleans it up. Right now, all the tanks are still going strong. This Nexus is going to fall, and I think that MCanning knows that he is in all sorts of trouble. But to be fair, he has been in trouble since the Widow Mines did that much damage.
Yeah, even the Marine and the Hellion, right? Like, it's just been MCanning getting battered and bruised, and when you're in that kind of situation, there isn't really a right move to make. But Vindicta, he's handled this fight really, really well. He's been patient, he's been cool, and takes the first map of the series.
Yeah, very feisty opening. Cool build order by Vindicta. MCanning trying to do something that's perhaps, a little bit out of his comfort zone. I know that, there is the old school 9DT build from MCanning, so he's obviously no stranger to Dark Templars, but I feel that MCanning has solid PvT, and I feel that it's not up to him to make the crazy plays and the crazy build orders happen. Just do what you do best, MCanning, and that is sit at home defensively, scout, react, macro up, and then get to that army that you're so comfortable and so good with.
Yeah, definitely. I actually played against MCanning quite a bit recently, and
You can just tell us, Ben, you had a show match, and you can tell us who won as well. I know you want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about my show match, Kevin. I want to talk about my ladder games with him, where he actually defended really, really well.
Okay.
Like, I was throwing cheese at him, and, very often you have Protosses that leave their wall open or something, but he was, like, bulletproof, actually, with his defense. Like, I was really, really impressed by it, so I couldn't really cheese him that much anymore. But, yeah, I would guess it's very easy for me to be like, I want MCanning to go with the safe and standard, as opposed to doing a DT opening, because that could have worked out really well for him, but yeah, I think he's very good at the solid games, and as long as he makes this normal, I think that's when he is in a better position against a player like Vindicta.
It is a bit tricky, of course, because we often do say that we like to see players switch it up and do something that's a bit less predictable than what they always do. And then when it doesn't work, then we're like, oh, they should do what they're best at. But I think PvT is in a funny place, and Vindicta, this is actually something I want to talk about in the beginning of the game. Vindicta loves the late game as well, like you say. He likes to get 4 or 5 bases, goals, advanced ballistics, liberators, nukes. That's cool and all, but I just feel that if they always get there, MCanning will get the best of it more often than not. I think MCanning is a bit better in 4 or 5 base scenarios than Vindicta is, even though that's what probably Vindicta feels that he's best at as well, because Vindicta is not a very cheesy Terran player. So there is no need for MCanning to try to make these games weird when stylistically, this is supposed to be a good clash for him.
Yeah. I think both of these guys look at the other guy as like they respect them. Yeah. And I mean, the fact that they both opened up like they did, it just showed that they have respect for their opponent, trying to opt for something a little bit wild and, I don't want to say the word silly, but yeah, a bit wild. Anyhow, sporting over in the bottom right-hand side, as I read Terran, it is Vindicta.
Just got his first map win of the season. In the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who is trying to duplicate that miracle run he had last season. It is MCanning.
And how do you feel about Romanticide in general for PvT, Kev?
I think it's a cool map. I'm not exactly sure if I like it against Terra or not. I feel like it's a very macro-oriented map. I gave shout-out to Wadi, but it was actually Wadi. One of my viewers mentioned when this map came out, it's like, this map just reminds me of King's Cove. It's obviously a bit different, but in the end of the day, it plays out pretty similar to King's Cove. And I was like, I think he has a valid point. And I think it's kind of hard to make a lot of pushes work that are very powerful on shorter maps like Lightshade or in the past Everdream, because you can obviously always have tanks on the high ground, right? So this map to me, it just screams macro, and I think in general, if it screams macro, it just screams execution, like who does it better?
Yeah, kinda. It is similar to King's Cove in a way, but attacking that third, like that opening down to the bottom there, that's the only way in. It's obviously way more out the way than King's Cove, where it's quite a bit more direct, which defensively, like getting up to 3 bases, especially with the new shield battery being in the mix, it is kind of hard to attack against the Protoss, I feel.
Yeah, do you feel like that, Ben?
You know what, Kevin? If we're going to go down this road, Renee, all right, I'm going to start making things difficult for you.
No, it's so funny because the battery really has changed a lot of things. Like a lot of these super early 2-base all-ins that were powerful, all of a sudden are not that powerful anymore because Protoss just gets an additional 10-15 seconds where you can't fight. And, well, if you do fight, good luck, have fun killing a unit. Yeah. And I mentioned this the other day, but I never thought about it. But the overcharged battery is actually a massive nerf to cannon rushers. Like, I feel like cannoning became a bit worse, even though MaxPax just got a great victory with it. But You know, there's often this moment where it's like a battery's almost out of juice, and now you overcharge it, and then the Stalker or the Immortal just stays alive, and then you kill the cannons, and you stabilize. So it is funny, and I feel like a lot of us are still kind of trying to find out what you can and cannot get away with, knowing that overcharged batteries are part of this game.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely been a big dampener. Like, I mean, 2-base, the pressure builds where the Terran's taking the third behind, they've definitely stopped being as big a threat as they used to be. McCanning here, by the way, opting for a Stargate opening. I like this, and I do feel that Phoenixes in general, if it is going to be a Phoenix, are getting a lot more love in this matchup.
Let's see. Okay, he does go Phoenix. In the past, I've seen MCanning be quite the Oracle lover, but yeah, you're right. The Phoenix is becoming more and more popular. Just always been ahead of the meta, Ben, you know, a couple of years. But it's good to see. If Vindicta scouts this, that'd be big. And I wonder what his response will be. He does scout it, and he should be able to see there was a Phoenix in production as well, and one of them even popped. He's got a Widow Mine out right now. I wonder if he goes double mine and then maybe Cyclone, Viking, triple command center. Or if Vindicta is going to do something that we saw Gabe do earlier today, and that is still drop. But I think that's so risky.
It's super risky. And the fact that he's going for a Viking as well, I mean, I like this response. And I think when I play against Phoenix personally, I'm like, okay, there is a weak timing for the Phoenix where you can do this push. We have like a couple of Vikings, a couple of Cyclones, and then a butt ton of Marines. And it is actually very hard for the Phoenix player to kind of get the ball rolling, if you will.
Where are the mines? We've got 2 mines out. Actually, one mine is in the center, and the other mine, Vindictus is going to try to run a Widow Mine into the natural of MCanning. What is this?
And he's going to get away with it. I mean, okay, McCanning does see this, and he actually pulls every probe away from this. And the other Widow Mine turns up, but will get lifted here. This is NA, Kevin. This is beautiful.
You know, this may not seem good, but I actually think it's all right, because it's a lot of lost mining time. And obviously, just Phoenix Gateway is not very powerful, so it is important as a Protoss that you have a very smooth economy and that you can go up to 3 bases quickly and get some real power units out as well, whether that's Zealots with charge and some armor upgrades, or if you want to go the Robo way. I think it was all right for Vindicta, even if he didn't kill that many probes. I didn't hate that move.
I didn't hate it either. Like, I can make fun of it, obviously. But yeah, I didn't hate it. It brought the Phoenix back home as well. And ultimately getting those Widow Mines and hoping to do the drop. I mean, that was obviously shut down quite a bit. But those Widow Mines probably got more done than they were ever going to get done.
Yep, and it strikes some fear into the heart of the Protoss as well, right? Because you're like, oh my god, now my Phoenix were at home. I'm not exactly sure what happened on the other side of the map. We saw MCanning keeping his Phoenixes on the south side of his natural, where he's like, maybe there is a medevac heading my way. What if he goes for the non-stop Widow Mine drop play that, you know, we've seen Maru do in the past as well. Maybe the mines are cloaked. Now he gets the confirmation that is not happening, and it's instead a couple of Vikings, and there is a Cyclone out as well. But Vindicta's push is going to be pretty powerful, and I would absolutely prefer MCanning to build Colossi over Disruptors here, and that is indeed what he's going to do.
Yeah, like, even though his push is going to be strong, like, the tank count hasn't been building. I think he was using his factory to, you know, make add-ons for other buildings and stuff. And I know a lot of people could be like, oh, tanks are pretty bad against Phoenix, you know, just lift them up. But tanks put a lot of pressure on the Phoenix to do that job, and them getting gunned down when you already have quite a few Vikings and quite a few Marines and stuff. Realistically, this push, if it does come, because I mean, a third CC isn't in production, I do feel that this map does play itself like, I think McCanning is playing the map a bit smarter than Vindicta here.
Yeah. I don't mind what Vindicta is doing as long as he's got a proper plan. If it's just like, we're just going to send everything to the bottom of the ramp and then we're going to siege up, I don't think that's going to work. But if you can maybe, during all of that, just sneak 8 Marines with Stim into the main base while MCanning is busy dealing with the main push, then I actually think it's a pretty cool move. But we'll see. If it's just going to be one straight up attack via the bottom of the ramp, I don't think that's really going to get the job done, Ben. There is a battery there. We're going to see a cannon being warped in as well. Vindicta needs an ace up his sleeve, and I don't see it.
Just to, by the way, it's very nice that McCanning's actually mining out these minerals, because having the tanks behind that mineral wall can be very annoying and make things tough. That Zealot, crouching Zealot, like just finding out where this push is coming from was very nice for McCanning. I would have preferred more Colossus coming out instead of just stopping at 2 there, but I mean, McCanning, he's looking at like he's in decent shape here.
Yeah, but he kind of got juked there, though. He expected that army to be on the top side of the map. Instead, Vindicta did go back to the center, but there are a couple of shield batteries here. Overcharge being used as well, and that means Vindicta is going to be forced to disengage. It is a bit of a tricky spot. He's got double Colossi, now he's going into Disruptors. I mean, MCanning is 17 workers ahead, Ben, and he's not really under that much pressure.
The thing that made me dislike Vindicta's play this game is the fact that this push moved out at 7 minutes at 100 supply.
Yeah.
Very often when you do this push, you can actually move out a full minute faster with the same amount of supply. So I think he just slowed himself down on how he was doing things, and now he's going back into playing a macro game. But the thing is, he's very behind, as you put it, like 67 pros to 51 SCVs. This is... I felt this about his TVT against Future. He didn't do things like you're meant to do things almost.
Yeah, I truly wish that he had a 1-2 play in mind. You know, even if it's just a Widowmine drop in the natural, just anything to actually get some proper damage and maybe cause a bit of chaos and get a bit of panic on the side of MCanning. But I think there was only a split moment where MCanning was like, whoa, he actually went back into the center, and I gotta worry about that. But there were so many static defenses there that even if he ate a couple of very big tank shots, I mean, who cares if you're standing next to 2 or 3 batteries? Battery overcharge is available as well. It didn't really seem that MCanning broke a sweat. And now we're going into indeed a proper macro game. But normally when Protoss tries to get here, I feel like they've been taking some damage. You know, there's a good chance that Terran actually tried to go up to 4 bases a little bit quicker if you're this tech heavy as a Protoss. MCanning is just getting there in the most chill and comfortable way possible.
Okay, so this is some of the scary stuff for me. Like Vindicta, he's not got an armory, which means that he's probably going to be doing some big, like, attack, right? Liberator, Viking, Ghost, Tank, Bio. It is a scary army to go on, but he's on a clock because he's not going to be starting +2/+2 anytime soon. But then he's slowed down the game so much that he's getting a 4th CC and a sensor tower. Like, a lot of it just doesn't really make sense. Like, it's very middle of the road, not really getting much done. Now he's starting up the armory and the engineering base, so I feel he's a bit all over the place with in regards to what he really wants to get done.
Yeah, he does have a powerful army. I mean, I think everything you say is correct, and I think MCanning is in a great spot, but MCanning still needs to take this game very serious. Because if he takes a bad fight against this many tanks, he's going to move forward, fires his Nova immediately, it completely whiffs. But he's got way... I mean, I thought he had like 2 or 3 Disruptors. He's got 5 Disruptors already, Ben.
Yeah, like... I mean, that really is a testament to how far ahead MCanning was from the early game. Because, I mean, not really much has happened. It's just... I think his build just worked out better than Vindicta's. And not only does he have a better tech army, even though Vindicta's army is scary, you have to respect it, he has way better upgrades on the way as well.
Vindicta, you can see he's miscontrolling his units there a little bit. Left one medevac. Does a good job in avoiding the first few Novas. Actually does a really good job. MCanning perhaps a little bit too trigger happy. Now this Terran army can move forward, and these tanks can actually become a much more dangerous position. Let's see if they can land a couple of good shots. I gotta say, great fight for the Terran so far.
Super good fight for him. It's just before the upgrades are finishing for MCanning, and these Disruptors, they didn't get done what he wanted to get done. Nice splits again from Vindicta, and this trade was all about Vindicta, honestly.
Imagine if he would have moved the tanks forward during all of that, Ben, and the tanks would have been at the bottom of the ramp right now. Instead, he's going to eat a couple of big Novas. One tank goes down, the other one takes a lot of damage. The Phoenixes are trying to chip away at this medevac count and actually get 2 medevacs in the end. Vindicta really should have moved his tank during that battle, and he needs to take care of that Observer. That Observer is giving MCanning way too much information.
Oh, it certainly is. That Disruptor from downtown as well takes out the tank count here. He's down to 1 tank remaining, and he's still trying to produce them as well. I guess the scariest part here for Vindicta is he's only just started his +2/+2, and it's getting onto the scary phase of the game where he's going to be up against DTs and stuff.
I mean, Vindicta did great there. It's just a shame because he could have done even much better. He didn't use the majority of his power units, and he really should have taken care of that Observer. I wanted to mention it before, but I was like, okay, I understand. Many things are happening. As a Liberator is casually getting 6 kills, so that's not too bad. MCanning sent his Phoenixes to deal with it, but then he changed the course of that Phoenix. So now he's going to lose a few more probes. I'm not exactly sure what's happening over here, man.
I'm not sure either. Like, MCanning, he's struggling to get up past, like, the 150 supply mark, which... right now, he should be absolutely blossoming the fact that he stayed alive from that big attack. But it's not really the case at all, and he's trying to take his 5th base, but he's on 66 probes. Rough spot for him.
Still has a great army. Disrupt count is currently at 5.
Is this, okay, for a second there, I thought it was going to maybe get the Colossus if that kept on going. These DTs, though, they're kind of shut down. A scan on top of the missile turret. I've been there, Vindicta, don't you worry.
And he's actually not going to get them as he lost all of his bio units, and it means he's now going to lose a few more SCVs in the natural. At the same time, MCanning goes up a ramp. Don't really want to see MCanning take a fight there. I mean, firing a couple Novas forward is not bad. There are a couple of random bio units on the top side of the map actually on power or taking down that pylon.
That Archon's still alive?
Yeah. I feel like he should have just gone for the probes there.
It definitely would have been good, I think. Definitely would have been a good move. This game's getting crazy and spicy. MCanning's throwing DPs at him left and right. Oh my god, MCanning, this is crazy.
Yeah, there's no need for MCanning to do this. I know he's just trying to land some Novas, and he does land a good one in the end, but he needs to back off, man. I see no War Prism there. It's just a couple of Stalkers and a Colossi. MCanning is getting a bit too carried away. He needs to chill down, take a chill pill, as Todd would say, and just get a proper army.
Yeah, not just a proper army, but get your probe count sorted out, you know? Like, even though 70 is decent, you can easily saturate these bases a little more, maybe add on another 10 probes, you know, and really boost up this gateway count, maybe get like a second robo. Oh, in fact, he does have a second robo, but this gateway count, 11, it's definitely not bad. Just more probes.
Yep, I think he's going to try to do that as we see at least one probe in production. Vindicta throwing down another command center. Now Storm is on the way as well, so MCanning is going to make his army even more complex. I don't want to see him be so aggressive without a prism, and especially if you're going up a ramp and you know there are a couple of tanks already set up in very strong defensive positions. Like right now, MCanning's army is not that good, man. I don't want to see him take this fight. It's just not needed.
It's definitely not needed. These DTs getting into the natural is definitely annoying, but that is costly. Like, Vindicta, when he's playing defensively, you can't do that kind of stuff against it, right? Because he's prepared. What you want to do with those Blink DTs is wait for the Terran to move out or absolutely attack in a completely different location. But when he's actually sat there waiting for you, it's just throwing away money at that point.
Yeah, look at the triple sensor tower set up right now for Vindicta. He's like, all right, if you're just sharking around my natural, my third or my fourth, and I'm going to try to keep track of that army. And MCanning is going to have to transition. He drops not a Stargate. I think he forgot that he already had one from the early game, because I don't think we have a fleet beacon yet. So now we have 2 Stargate, no fleet beacon. I think MCanning is just a bit nervous. I think he's really feeling the pressure after the great run last season, right? You're going to give yourself more expectations as well. And he's not on his A game so far.
No, he isn't. And this army, even though it's a strong army, it's not like it's missing Storm. It's not really that super complex. And tanks from a distance and like Disruptors and Ghosts, they deal with this pretty handily.
Right. A single Dark Templar is putting in some good work at the bottom side of the map. A few Marines got picked off and forces this command center to pick off as well. MCanning now warps in another Stargate, so he's going up to 4 Stargates. I really don't think he's that rich, but... Vindicta's going to sandwich his army, Ben, but there are a couple of Disruptors in the mix. This is going to be a messy fight. The Nova's whip, though. I think this is Vindicta's moment. He needs to pounce on this army. He's move commanding his army, Ben. What are we watching?
I don't know. This is beautiful, Kevin. There's destruction absolutely everywhere, but MCanning is definitely get the worst end of it as he loses all his high-tech units. In fact, okay, I thought he was going to leave those Disruptors at the bottom there. I was like, don't you dare. Those units are nasty. And he does clean him all up there. Vindicta, is he actually going to move out on the map now? He does.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to at least take out one Nexus. At this point, there are only 2 Disruptors out on the map, and one of them is going to get picked off before it really connects with anything. MCanning is setting up more counterattacks, but I feel like he needs some units at home. MCanning needs to respect his army or he's in serious trouble.
He certainly does. He gets his High Templars, EMP, but MCanning, he's down at 100 supply right now, and he's constantly tried to send in DTs, but this resources lost tab. Like, he's lost an extra 6-7k resources than his opponent. I think they're really going home here.
I think there's just too many things happening at once, and I think both players are very stressed out, and obviously it's a big game for both of them. MCanning knows that, you know, there are expectations right now. He had such a great performance before. It was beautiful that he qualified. Now people want to see more of what he gave all of us last season, and Vindicta is getting very close to his first win of the season, as he's 0-2-0-4, already got a map win, is now close to winning the best of 3. I do think it makes sense that we are seeing some clumsy plays. Can we please, for the love of God, take out that Observer? That Observer has seen way too much, man.
It is seeing a lot, Kevin. It really is. But Vindicta, this is very unusual terrain play. Like, just running back, getting a base, running back to your base, and, like, capping out again on 200 supply. His army, it's a good one. It's a damn good one. But, you know, if you're watching Big Gabe with this army, he's dropping the main, dropping the natural. You know, he's not slowing down the game. And this is just kind of like, as time goes by, it gets better for MCanning because Vindicta is not really going to get much stronger than he is right now.
Well, Vindicta is going to set up a couple of drops right now, Ben. So your wish is granted. A medevac is heading towards the top right side, and a double drop is heading towards the bottom left. 3 Vikings were casually left by themselves in the center of the map, so those will get picked off. Do we have advanced ballistics yet? I don't think we do, right?
Yeah,
we do. Okay. All right, set up these liberators then. Okay, I don't know why he's so eager to run up this ramp over and over and over again. If you want to end the game, then you need a war prism, right? Am I crazy?
You do need a warp prism, but I mean, he's so busy producing Colossus and Disruptors at this point. He's shutting down these drops of Vindicta, but they're very half-arsed drops, you know? Like, most of his army is still back at his base. I don't know what Vindicta's game plan is to win this game. He just feels like he doesn't want to lose it, but...
I think he wants to get more Liberators and Ghosts. I think that's probably the plan. Or maybe he's waiting for +2 air weapons, or ship weapons, as you guys say. Because that obviously would make these Liberators way more powerful against the Stalkers.
He loves this ramp, Kevin. He loves this ramp. And there's only one Liberator at the top.
Oh, that's a good EMP. Connects with a couple of the High Templars. I believe 1 or 2 Storms is still available, but beautiful EMP by Vindicta.
Yes, it is. That Ghost, you know, it was kind of with McCanning's army for a second there. Oh, these Disruptor shots. Does Vindicta need to chase this now?
Well, this army is not very powerful. It has been EMP'd. I don't think there are any spellcasters left. The High Templar is coming in from the left side, but MCanning is going to be forced to take this fight, and the gateway units are actually not doing too bad. At least the last Colossus does go down against the Vikings. This is a proper clown fiesta of a game. I don't know what we're watching. MCanning has 4 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon, but he hasn't used it at all. He doesn't get +1 air weapons. Right when I say so, he actually makes a Tempest. Then all the tech units fail, but Zealots and Stalkers are making some serious magic happen.
They really are. Like, you know what, Kevin? I have no idea what's happening in this game anymore, you know? No idea whatsoever. Vindicta, at some point in this game, he was 180 supply against 110, and he walked back home. Now we look at this situation, 193 for MCanning against 170 of Vindicta. Vindicta is just making life ridiculously difficult for himself. Now he's transitioning into nukes. I like the nukes, but this game, like, he made it so much harder on himself.
Yeah, and it really does feel that base on the top right side really should have been under way more pressure, right? I know he sent a single drop there one time, but then just 1 or 2 Dark Templars kind of chopped away at those bio units, and they got taken out. But this is still anybody's game. Like, MCanning is maxed out, but he's maxed out on technically a pretty crappy army. He's got 28 Zealots 20 minutes into a game ban, and he's running up that ramp in the natural one more time, as Vindicta is going to launch a nuke on the top right side. I don't know what we are watching, but it is pretty awesome. It's a double nuke. There's a nuke landing in the center base as well for MCanning.
I think the nukes, are they going to land in the top right? It's kind of avoided for the most part.
Center base!
MCanning, but this one, it even lands on a portion of the army as well.
Yep, a couple of Stalkers go down. Big stim being used, and most of the Zealots have been taken care of in the bottom left side. There are still a few more DTs, but another scan will take care of those as well. And MCanning is going to recall his Zealots out. What a clown fiesta of a game. Welcome to NA, baby.
It truly is. Like, Vindicta is trying to secure a 6th base right now, which is so weird in TVP to say.
Ben, sorry, but why is that Ghost not attacking a completely exposed base on the top right side? There were 0 units in position. He's got a Cloak Ghost. There are 30 probes there. No detection. No warp in pilot. And the Ghost just walks away. It's like, no, it's a nuke or nothing for me. It's like, no, just attack. You can kill 10 probes easily.
I won't pretend to know anything about this game anymore after this one, Kevin. Like, Vindicta, he really plays this matchup like he's so scared all the time. And, you know, it does baffle me. Like, yes, I would be going way more crazy with the drops, with the Ghost, with the Bio, like everything. But he's so willing to just be a defender. It doesn't make sense to me, Kevin.
What I find even more fascinating is that this is a 22-minute game, and we've had 0 War Prisms. It's not even that they have died. Literally 0 War Prisms. It's a pretty big map. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that would have helped reinforcements a lot, but Both playing the game on hard mode, Kevin, it must be said.
Yes, indeed. I mean, MCanning really wants to take out this base in the bottom left side. Has to be a little bit careful. He's still very Stalker heavy, and we all know that Stalkers don't skill that well unless you land Novas. That Nova was somewhat decent, but this Planetary Fortress, I think, is safe at the bottom left for now. What do we have? Something is dying.
It was a DT in the third base or so.
How many disruptors have gone on? 12. All right, the army's getting very close to each other. I mean, MCanning's supply looks good, but his army is simply not that good.
No, it isn't. And like, if he runs into any kind of concave, he's in a lot of trouble. Because all it takes is for those disruptors to run out of juice.
He got a good Nova there, though. Connected with 4 or 5 Marauders, I believe, and 1 or 2 random Marines as well. Vindicta scans this army, and he's got to realize that that is not an invincible army. Now, it is obviously a big, wide-open map, so I can understand some of the pain that Vindicta is feeling, that it's hard to force a fight with Liberators, right? He just picks up a double drop that's going to send probably to the top right side, but MCanning is still very keen on taking out this Planetary Fortress in the bottom left.
And I mean, he's got a lot of disruptors now. Like, you really have to respect that number of disruptors. And this base does go down, which is, I think it's the only healthy mining base for Vindicta left in the game.
The Colossi are left very exposed. I believe the missile turret just killed one of the Colossus in the back. The Marauders really want the other Colossus. They do get it. Vindicta has unloaded his units. There's a disruptor coming in from the top. It could land a Sig Nova, and it does land a Sig Nova. Very well done by MCanning. But there are a lot of units on the top right side. But Zealots and Dark Templars are actually fighting this back. Has MCanning done it? The 4 Stargate into no air units built. I think it's working, Ben.
I think it is too, Kevin. Like, what is Vindicta mining? He's on 39 SCVs, which means his army's still pretty scary here, but he has lost so much of his tech. He's down to 1 Liberator, down to 4 Ghosts. Oh, and that storm's juicy.
Yeah, very juicy. Connects with a lot of the Marines. At this point, Vindicta, it does really feel like he's running. Oh my god, he just blew up some of his own Stalkers. That's the only thing we hadn't seen yet, so obviously we had to see that too.
He's like a Viking, man, you know, making sacrifices to the Norse gods to try and win this game, but I think Vindicta's in a really bad spot.
I'm with you. I mean, this is an orbital as well, and that's his most important base. There wasn't even a missile turret there. Like, it's amusing to us, but I can truly see just the stress that these players are under, and it's obvious that, you know, they are very evenly matched, and if 2 players are very evenly matched, yeah, sometimes you're going to get very silly games because you force out mistakes from one another. This is a pretty powerful Terran army, Ben, and a couple of Zealots is not going to save the day, but I don't think we're going to get this Nexus as the reinforcements for MCanning are on the way.
These, I can't believe that he didn't just turn around and kill those Stalkers. He kind of ran away from them. Those, this is big, though. This is big.
Oh my god, great snipe! Fantastic snipe by Vindicta. I actually thought the Nova was going to collapse. He gets all of the disruptors. He needs to scan as well, then he can take care of the Dark Templar. Vindicta just completely turned this game upside down with a sick flank from the left side, and I cannot believe he got all of the disruptors, but he sure as hell did.
Oh my god, this really was the Game of Throws, Kevin. Like, MCanning, he got himself more than back into this game from being 110 supply against 190. Vindicta went back home, but oh my god, this is gonna haunt MCanning's dreams, I feel.
Yeah, Vindicta is right now hunting down his army. He is stimming a lot, though. Still needs to be a little bit careful. We know that there is always a disruptor and a dream with MCanning. Is this a good shot? It's not bad. Don't forget, we still have a lot of static defenses from the early game. Overcharge is being used as well. Vindicta smells blood, but Ben, he needs to be a little bit careful as well, because it's not like he's got a sick economy at home to replace all the units he's losing.
You know, as soon as I saw that shield battery overcharge going, I'd have ran back, man. I'd ran back, but he's still going for it. He's still gunning for it. I mean, MCanning,
At the Nexus.
he's not out of this game still if Vindicta's playing so crazy like this.
Not at all, and that Nexus stays alive. Liberators are going to start sieging this base. This is the game of the day. I don't care what you guys say at home. For me, this is the game of the day. Couple of mistakes, sure, but absolutely fantastic StarCraft action.
I mean, honestly, we've had a few games of the day, right? Like Stefano against Euthermal was also pretty crazy.
Ben, I didn't notice this at all. I'm sure the Twitch chat has noticed, but I never read Twitch chat. Can we take a look at the main base of MCanning? Where the Robo is? Look at that. 2 beautiful Dark Shrines right next to each other.
So I saw them when they were both producing. I did say the double Dark Shrine, but yeah.
I didn't see it, sorry. I mean, there's so much happening in this game.
It is like this. The Disruptor killing himself when seemingly nothing else was going on. Like, this game has it all. It really does.
Yep. Vindicta is looking for and Nexus in the top right side, but he's going to receive the great news that there is no Nexus there. MCanning is trying to re-establish the base at 9 o'clock. See, I don't think he ever really took this. He mined a little bit of it, but mostly long distance mining, I guess. This is still a game, though, man. Like, 2 great Novas. I mean, last time it went fantastic for Vindicta. He somehow killed 5-6 Disruptors with a great flank. Obviously, great EMPs as well. But if he doesn't end MCanning's got an army again. He's got Disruptors. He's got a dream. We know it's possible.
He certainly does, certainly does. I think Vindicta mechanically is very good. His knowledge of what to do in the game seems a bit off, but when it comes to these fights, he definitely knows how to micro.
Yeah, but this can only go right for so long. Lands a great EMPs on those High Templars, by the way. Picks up a couple of units as well. Rico is being used, but Vindicta picks up a couple of Disruptors before the Rico is fully activated. One Disruptor is hiding in the corner. It's like, no, leave me alone. I'm not part of that army. They left me behind for a reason, and Vindicta is a merciful god as he let it live.
Yeah, he really did let it live. Oh dear, this is quite a catch though from MCanning, getting a juicy squad of bio there, also the medevac. And I mean, they both have to be so careful here, because all it takes is one bad engagement for either one of them.
This one Tempest still cruising around. Vindicta's army is a bit all over the place at this point. Loses one medevac, could potentially lose. What is he doing with his medevacs? He's putting him in very risky positions. Now his bio units are all over the place. Vindicta needs to chill, but he doesn't know how to chill.
He has no chill, Kevin, no chill whatsoever. He just threw away like a good 10-20 supply for absolutely zilch there.
At least 20. Like another medevac bites the dust. There was 4 medevacs and a handful of bio units that just died for nothing. They weren't even fighting.
You know, like for the whole game, Vindicta was like sitting back when he kind of wasn't meant to sit back. But then when he's like kind of meant to sit back, that's when he goes. And it's like, dude, like, yeah, just chill, just chill. I feel maybe now is a time where, okay, attack, like he's got to focus on the left side. That's where he needs to deal his damage because those are the healthy mining bases. Spending time on the right side of the map, it's not really worthwhile. If fights are happening here, this is when the nukes on the left side would be absolutely beautiful at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, nukes are fantastic, but even just a Cloud Ghost, like a single Cloud Ghost in a middle line can absolutely destroy a probe line in a matter of seconds. They two-shot workers. So I would love to see Vindicta just cloak a unit every now and then, send it in and see what you can get done. And I promise it's quite a bit. These armies are flirting with each other. Vindicta is stimming. He wants to engage. Now, it's always hard to chase a Protoss army. He wants to get up the ramp as well. We're going to need a couple of great EMPs, and he needs to avoid the Purification Novas.
Okay, the base is under threat from MCanning here. This is the kind of position that he doesn't really want to fight in, but big EMPs do land. The Vikings going uncontested in the air. Nova's trying to land. Nice splits by the Terran player. The supply is plummeting on both sides. Novas do start landing on the army of MCanning, and he has to retreat away from this base.
I think in the end it is barely good enough for Vindicta as he's starting to take out the majority of the probes on the left side, and he's winning the fight against the gateway units as well. Vindicta gets his first W of the season.